Welcome my dear students. Today I am going to taking you my subject as a elective subject in your third semester BCA, that is a skill development elective subject paper 3. Paper code is BCA CE 237 E2 desktop publishing. As you are familiar with, this is a total of 50 marks. Internal is a 10 marks and external is of 40 marks. Here I am presenting you the detail. It is the syllabus framed by the Mangalore University. Yet this books and detailed syllabus has to come. Yet as per the instruction we got, our association, Computer Science Association, will give the full-fledged study material related to these elective subjects. Once we get that copy, we will continue this subject. So here in this session, I am going to showing you some of a video tutorial available in YouTube. Please go through this. Once the material has came to us, we will definitely continue with this unit. Okay, so here the textbook is mentioned, but we are not confirm whether the same book is going to be carrying on or not. So that is why you don't buy these books. Once the detailed syllabus as well as a prescribed textbook has come, we will continue with that. Okay, so I will present you some of our video tutorial related to the unit 1, that is page maker. Just go through it. Nowadays this desktop publishing plays a prominent role for creating detailed documents and also for running presses. So every day you are getting a magazine papers. The compilation is done by using this desktop publishing softwares. And if you are printing the invitation card, wedding invitations, this pagemaker softwares are using. If you are if you are preparing visiting cards, letterheads, greeting cards, advertisements for jobs, newspaper for columns, and every work is going to be doing with this pagemaker itself only. Now you are also having your textbooks. The compilation of a textbooks is prepared by using this pagemaker software itself only. Okay, here once that we get the detailed syllabus, we will continue the syllabus as per the requirement of a university. Till that I am placing you here the sum of a YouTube tutorial. Please go through it. Thank you.
Welcome to the spoken tutorial of Adobe PageMaker 7.0. In this introduction, we will talk about how you can start Adobe PageMaker and the various elements that are on your screen. First thing, click on the Start menu. Click on Programs. From there, click on Adobe. Click on PageMaker. And finally, click on Adobe PageMaker 7.0. Depending upon the speed of your computer, this may take faster or slower time to open. To begin with, we will see couple of elements on the screen. The toolpad is on the left hand side of the screen. At the bottom of the screen, there is the control panel. This gives information about the various objects that we will see later. First, we will learn how to open a new document. To open a new document, click on the File menu, click on New, and you will see a Document Setup dialog box open. Here, we have several different options that we can change. We can choose between the different paper sizes: letter, legal, tabloid, A4, A3, A5, and various other sizes as seen. We can select our desired size by clicking on the same. The dimensions of the desired size will appear as shown in the dialog box. One can also change the orientation from tall to wide. As we can see, the changing of orientation will only swap the values of the dimensions. Here we select the letter style. We can also see the double-sided box. We can check mark on it if we want to see documents as a book. Here we will keep it off. The facing pages option will enable us to see more than one pages at a time. We can adjust the margin according to our need. We then click on OK after setting the required margins. This is what we are going to see on our screen. This is our picture dialog box. We are going to use this to make our documents. We have few more things to talk about. The default name of the document is Untitled 1 as seen on the top of the screen. We have three choices to choose from. The minimize button is on the left hand side, the maximize button is on the middle, and the close button is on the right hand side of the window. You can also close the page maker by clicking on this close button or by going and clicking on the icon and then closing by clicking on the close button. The scroll bar is at the right hand side of the screen as shown and on the bottom. The rulers at the top shows the measurements which we are working with. Adobe PageMaker is a very important tool used in various applications like advertising, newsletters, business cards, letterheads, etc. It is a very interactive and a easy tool which one should learn. Hope you enjoy with our tutorial. Thank you.
Welcome back to the spoken tutorial of Adobe PageMaker 7.0. In the introductory tutorial, we helped you open Adobe PageMaker, we helped you to open a new file, and we also talked about the various tools that you can see on the desktop. In this tutorial, we will be making you more familiar with Adobe PageMaker. We will be exploring the various view options and about the rulers and guiders in the desktop. To open a new file, you can go on to the file and the new menu. As you can see, this drawing area will appear. Let us go into the view option. There are various options available here. Zoom in, zoom out, actual size, fit in window, and the entire paste word are some of the view options. Zooming in will allow you to go to a particular area of the drawing board where you want to show things clearly. Zoom out will help you get out of the zoom in option. The actual size will actually fit the drawing area in your desktop. The fit in window will fit the whole drawing area into your window. You can also access these options by using the various shortcuts keys like Ctrl plus the plus sign on your keyboard for the zoom in option, Ctrl plus the minus sign on your keyboard for the zoom out option, and so on. Now we'll be going to the hide rulers option. The hide rulers option actually enables you to hide your rulers which are visible on the top and the left hand side of your screen. Click on the hide rulers option. As you can see, the rulers will disappear. Now suppose that you want to see back the rulers again. Then you have to go into the view option again. There is an option called as show rulers. Click on it to see the rulers back again. The rulers is actually used for seeing the dimensions of the objects that you are creating. You can actually hide and show rulers when you want and when you don't want. The next option we'll be exploring is the guides option. As you can see in the purple and the pink color, these are the guides. Again, you can hide that by going into view and hide guides option. As you can see, now the guides are not visible on the screen. To again show the guides, you have to go into the view option and select show guides. There are another two options available in the view menu, which are the snap to rulers and snap to guides. These options are basically used after we see the drawing tools option. In short, if you select the snap to guides option, it will allow you to actually draw only inside the guides and not go beyond it. Similarly, for the snap to rulers option, you can actually understand these options well after we go through the drawing tools option, which will be coming up in the next tutorial. Stay with us. Thank you. In the previous tutorials, we learned the basics of PageMaker, to open and save files, the various views, and the significance of guides and rulers. Here, we will begin with the drawing tool. The drawing toolbox is visible on the left hand side of your desktop. The first tool that we are going to learn is the line tool. We can select it by clicking on it. Once you select the line tool and bring the pointer to your drawing area, the icon changes to the plus sign. To draw a line, simply click and hold down the mouse to elongate the line. Once you acquire the required shape, release the mouse button. A line will show up with selection handles at both ends. The selection handles will help you change the angle of the line, the width, color, and variety of different things. The next thing we are going to learn is the constraint line tool. The perpendicular line tool is seen right next to the line tool. Click on it to select it. You can draw a horizontal, a vertical, or a 45-degree line by using this tool. None other angles can be drawn by this tool. Let's go back to the pointer tool. Right now, neither of the lines have selection tools visible on them. To select the line, click on the pointer tool and then click on the line which you want to select. Selection tools will be visible on them. Now, using the selection tools, you can modify the line as you want. The next tool that we are going to see is the rectangular tool or the square tool. Click on it to select it. You will see a plus sign on the drawing board. Click on it and hold on the mouse till you get the required size. Next, we will see the circle or the ellipse tool. Select it. Click on the drawing area till you get the required size. Release the mouse button and you will see an ellipse or the circle of your choice. The next tool that we are going to see is the polygon tool. The polygon tool is right below the circle tool. Click on it to select it. Take the mouse on the drawing area, drag the mouse and you will get a shape which is called a polygon. Now we can change the number of sides by going into the element menu and going into the polygon settings. You can change the number of sides by either the arrows or the keyboard, and you can change the star inset by the arrows depending upon the edge and the curves that you want. Click on OK to apply your changes. The another tool that is seen on the tool palette is the frame tools. We have the rectangular frame tool, the ellipse frame tool, and the polygon frame tool. One of them will be demonstrated here, the others are similar. The rectangular frame tool can be drawn similar to the rectangle tool. The only difference is that you can even draw another shape inside the shape if you use the rectangular frame tool. For example, you can draw a circle inside it as seen. This was all about the different tools. We also have a magnifying glass which can magnify the tool which we want to and the place where we want to. We will see some more features in the next tutorial. Thank you. In the previous tutorial, we saw the basic method of using the different drawing tools from the toolbox. In this tutorial, we'll be extending the lesson and we will see the various other features to fiddle around with the drawing. We will take the already mailed file in the previous session to learn about fills and outlines. These are basically features provided for enhancing the drawing capabilities. To go on to the fill menu, go on element menu and click on it. It is there on the upper bar of the desktop. Click on fill. You will be able to see the various options. For example, paper. Paper keeps the drawing white as it is. Solid is going to be the solid of the color which you want. There are various other patterns available from which you can choose. For the outline option, you have to go to the stroke menu and choose the outline which we'll be discussing in detail later. To select an object which you want to fill, you have to first select the object by selecting the pointer menu and clicking anywhere on the object. For example, let us select the rectangular box. Now, if you want to fill it with the pattern of your choice, go into the element menu, click on fill, click on any of the pattern that you want. You can see that the element gets filled up with the pattern of your choice. If you want to change the outline of the box, you have to go down again to the element menu, go on the strokes option, make it thicker or smaller according to your need. For example, we want the outline to be double line, then we'll be selecting this option and you can see the outline changed. If you want any other special outlines, then you can even go into the element menu, go into the stroke option and select custom and do the style according to your need. Right now we don't want it, so we will click on the cancel option. The another shortcut of going into the fills and the outlines menu is by going into element and selecting fill and stroke. You can do it by pressing Ctrl plus U together. You can see a pop-up menu as seen. Here you have options of both fill and outline. Fill by going to the drop down menu and selecting the pattern that you want. All the patterns there are also visible here. For example, let us do the square. You can even choose the color which you want. It can be blue or cyan or magenta, anything that you want. The tint gives us the amount of shade of the color. If you don't want a pure magenta color, you can even reduce the tint 70% example, or you can type in the required value. Similarly, stroke will be changing the underlining options and the outline option of the object. For example, you can choose a 5 point, you can choose the color again here. If example, I choose green, I'll change the tint to 85%. If we click on OK, then the changes will be applied to the object. As seen, we have made various changes and which are visible here. The same fill and outlines option can be applied to any of the other objects that we want. The color can also be changed by going into this menu and choosing our required color. This was all about the fills and outlines of the drawing tools. We will continue with the tutorial with some new topics in the next session. Thank you.
Welcome to the spoken tutorial of Adobe PageMaker 7.0. In the previous tutorials, we learned how to draw objects and how to fill them and how to change their outlines. We studied the basic difference between a rectangular box and a rectangular frame tool. Similarly, an ellipse tool and an ellipse frame tool, and same with the polygon tool. In this tutorial, we'll be studying in detail more about frames and blocks. For demonstration's sake, we'll be first drawing a rectangle and a rectangular frame. As we have seen, the difference clearly is seen with two diagonal lines appearing in the rectangular frame box. We'll be drawing some more shapes to identify. Now, we will be first seeing the various frame options. The frame options are there in the element menu. First, we have to select a tool for selecting the frame options. Here we have selected the rectangular frame. Go into the element menu, click on it, go into frame and go into frame options for various frame options. First of all, this is a normal rectangular. So first of all, we have to change it to change to frame. We can also do it by pressing Shift, Alt and F keys together. Clearly we can see that the normal rectangle has now been changed into a rectangular frame. To work with it, you can even go to element menu, go into frame and frame options. A pop-up menu will appear. Here we can change the vertical alignment, which is right now top. We can change it to center or bottom, whatever we want. We can even change the horizontal alignment from left, center and right. We will keep it right here. Now there are three options available. The first option is click content to fit frame. In this, if the content exceeds the size of the frame, the content will be clipped. The second option will be size frame to fit content. Here the content will not be clipped, but the frame will be resized to fit the content. The third option is the scale content to fit frame. If we click on it, another menu will appear, that is the maintain aspect ratio. Aspect ratio is the ratio of the horizontal width to the vertical width of the frame. The option will scale the content to fit our frame. We have two options, either by maintaining the aspect ratio or by changing the aspect ratio. We can select what we need. We can even select the inset, the top, bottom, left and the right inches as we want. Here we have kept them all equal to 0.167 inches. Right now we'll be going to clip content to fit frame. To actually apply the changes, click on OK button and then we can see the appeared changes. Another option that we can do is by going into the element menu, going into the frame option and change to graphic, that is change to the normal object. This will make the object as it was. Another thing which we can do is go into the element menu, go into the frame option. If there are many frames, then we can go into next frame, previous frame. We can remove a frame from the threads also. Now we will be seeing how to write text within a frame. For example, select this frame. Now select the text menu, press anywhere within it, write what you want. For example, I will write, this is a rectangle. The text will appear as seen on the desktop. Now we have variety of options. We can first select the frame, go into element menu,
Going to frame, we can separate out the content from the frame by clicking separate content. You can see that the text appears differently and the frame appears differently. We can even attach the content to the frame by going to the element menu and clicking on attach content. We can even delete the content by going into the element menu. The frame option can also be availed by the shortcut icon on the upper menu bar, which is this. This way we studied all about frames and blocks, how to toggle in between them, how to write text into them, and how to attach and separate the text from the frames. Enjoy practicing with frames. Thank you. Welcome back to the spoken tutorial of Adobe PageMaker 7.0. In this tutorial, we'll be seeing the various functions of the control palette. We introduced you the control palette in the first session. For using and knowing more about the control palette, first we will have to select and make a new file. For that, go into the File menu, click on New, click on OK. As you can see, a new document has been created. The control palette is at the bottom of your screen. This is the control palette. The control palette will have two values written in it, X and Y. The X and Y are the measurements or the dimensions values visible on the screen. The place at which the pointer is there will show the X and the corresponding Y values. The X and the Y values shows us the place at which the pointer is currently positioned. For example, let us put our pointer to the topmost. When the pointer will be exactly at the 0, 0 point, the X and Y values will become 0 and 0. You can also modify the control palette. The modifying part will be covered later. The horizontal axis corresponds to the x-axis and the vertical axis corresponds to the y-axis. For example, if I place my pointer here, it is around 2.9086 inches away from the 0 corresponding on the horizontal axis or the horizontal ruler, and at a distance of 6 inches in the vertical direction. We will also now see the different options available in the control palette for the different drawing tools. As covered in the previous tutorials, we will draw a couple of tools from the tool palette. For example, let us first see the rectangular tool. Go on the pointer menu and click anywhere on the rectangular menu. To select the rectangular tool, click on the rectangle box. As you can see on the control palette, it shows you everything about the rectangle that you have drawn. The first thing comes is the shape. The next thing that we can see are the X and the Y values. The X and the Y values shows us the beginning of the rectangular box. For example, the X corresponds to around 2.422 inches and the Y corresponds to around 3.953 inches. The another thing that we can see for the rectangle is the width and the height of the rectangle. The width is around 2.422 inches as seen from the control palette, and the height is around 1.86 inches. We can also see the tilt of the rectangle which is drawn from the dialog boxes. The next option we'll be seeing in the control palette is the circle. Go on the pointer menu, select the circle, the shape will appear and the starting X and Y values will appear. We'll be also able to see the width and the height of the circle, similarly the tint of the circle. In this way, the control panel almost helps us to understand each and every shape, each and every object that we have drawn on the drawing toolbar. The drawing toolbar is again a very beautiful option to paint and draw objects. The control palette makes it even more beautiful and better to understand. Thank you.
In this tutorial, we are going to learn the basics about working with text. We are first going to open a new document. We will go up to the File menu, click on New. Now we have got a new document to work on. To work with the text, we will first go and select the text button. The text button is shown by a T on it. Click it once and then move it on the drawing page. You will notice an I as shown. There are two ways you can access a text button. The first way is to simply click within your margins. We have clicked once and then we can type the text that we want. But before we do that, I would like to change the view of my screen so that you can see the text clearly. We will simply go up to the View menu and select the actual size. You can then type in the text that you want. If you make a mistake, then use the I button and place it where you want to make changes. You can also navigate in between your text by using the right and the left arrow buttons. To see the text box itself, go on the arrow button, click on it, and then click anywhere on the text. You can see the selection handles on the text box. The window-shaped selection handles appear on the screen as shown. You can click on the selection handles and drag. If you want to move the text to a different place, simply click anywhere on the text and move it to the desired place. If you want to move the text up, simply click on the window shape and drag it up. It will move the top of the text up and the bottom will follow. The second way to write a text tool is to select the text button and then to click and drag a box. This will set up the boundaries of the text, and then we will repeat the text that we had already typed. We notice that the text will automatically wrap up. You can also change the dimensions of the text box by simply clicking on any one of the selection handles and by dragging it. We can go to the Edit menu and click on Select All to select all the text boxes. Similarly, we can deselect it by going to the Edit menu and selecting Deselect All. We can also click on the text box, reduce the size, drag the remaining text and open it elsewhere. We can see the plus sign at the end of the first and the start of the second box. This indicates that the text is being continued elsewhere. The plus sign will go away once all the text is joined together. We can also copy the text we want by clicking and dragging the text we want to copy. Then click on Edit and Copy. We can then go to our desired location and click on Edit and click on Paste. Similarly, we can cut and paste the required text too. In this session, we had a look on basics of writing a text, copying, and other editing options.